Mariah Carter, your redheaded investor, and I'm here with Heather Eck, and she is a local artist in town of we're near Raleigh, North Carolina, Wave Arena, and we are also in the Women in Networking chapter. And we are looking to collaborate and grow each of our businesses. So today we're going to get to know Heather. So Heather, can you explain how long you've been in Fuquay, what your business is, and what you're looking for to grow your business, I guess, at the time.
Sure, yeah. I'm actually in Holly Springs, so very close to
I
Fuquay.
always
But
forget
I'm
that.
just
Okay.
yeah. But
Okay. All right.
I'm on that other part of town, but very close. And we go down to downtown Fuquay all the time. But I was in corporate HR for almost 20 years, and at the end of 2019, decided to take a leap to pursue art making full time. And I was always like a really creative kid. I was always sketching and drawing, and I was kind of dabbling in art a little bit. I was sort of at this point in my career where I was getting promotions and getting salary increases, and with every single one, I felt less and less. I felt more and more like who I was and what I was here to do. And so I left at the end of 2019 and started making art. So I make contemporary abstract paintings that explore the beauty, wonder, and the sacred in the ordinary. So I have something called synesthesia, which allows me to see and sense color around people and in spaces.
Right.
And a lot of times what I'm doing is tuning into the energy of a person, a place, or an emotion or a topic and painting what it is that I see in my third eye and in my vision.
That's right. So I have jumped on some of your call, well, one of your calls recently where you caught my aura on a Zoom call, which I thought was pretty cool. Remember? I think it was purple was at the time that was one,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
actually was pretty much on point.
Mhm.
So it's cool that you can do that over a Zoom call.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
So a couple of things about you that I know. Granted, I forgot not Fuquay. You're in Holly Springs, which is nearby. Fuquay is a funny name town. I kind of wish we lived in Holly Springs because Holly Springs is such a pretty sound name. Um, but it is. It is. A lot of my friends in Massachusetts were like, "What? Why don't you live in a cute name town?" I'm like, "It's because we like challenges." Anyway, so Fuquay is a unique town. So what I know about you is the beautiful artwork you have behind you, the fact that you can see color, which makes me a little nervous when we meet up because I don't even know if you're sitting in a room with a bunch of other women, what you actually see in the room versus like what I see in the room. But I guess does it not hinder you from like functioning through the world? Like explain that like mindset that this ability that you have is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, it is. It is. So all of us have spiritual gifts. All of us do. We are sensitive to energy. You know this. If you go into a room and you're like, oh, that they seem to be mad at each other, or like there's something happening over here, you can
Yeah.
pick up on it, And so, that energy. So there are a lot of different ways that we take in or perceive things. For me, it happens to be emotionally, sort of through like sensations in my body, but also visually. So if I'm sitting there in the meeting with you guys, I'm not always seeing color on your heads unless you are sitting up against a wall, and then I'll start to see it. I kind of need like a blank
Oh,
canvas a little bit to see it. But what I
okay.
do pick up on are people's emotions, or like I can tell if somebody comes in and they're not feeling good, or I can tell if somebody comes in and they are like distracted by a thing. And I might not always know what the thing is, but I could sort of feel my way into somebody's energy. And I don't do it without being asked to, but I'll just get
Mhm.
the feeling that somebody's having a tough day or going through something or feeling really good.
I like that. All right. So your business is selling your artwork. So what is your ideal type of client that maybe they haven't thought that this artwork could help them or that they'd, see in their lives? Like, what does that look like?
That's a question. I think we are surrounded by art everywhere we go. There's art in the pieces behind you. There's art in the throw pillow that you buy at Home Goods. There's art in the wine bottle that you choose to
It's true.
enjoy. So there's art all around us. We're not aware that that art or just the things that we surround ourselves with are they're either ministering to us in some way or they're contributing to our feeling about something, but we're always being communicated to. So my art really invites into a space where you can sort of slow down, look and notice what it is that you see, feel, or sort of intuitively understand about a piece. And it asks you to just kind of sit with it. So, we are constantly moving through our day and we're like, I think
Yeah.
we take in like 30,000 pieces of information.
Yeah.
So really pausing and looking and going, wait a minute, what do I see here? What do I notice here? Because there are messages and there are different ways that the art can minister to you. So I think my work is really for the person who is stepping into a more spiritual space or they're looking to understand themselves a little bit more deeply and
Mhm.
they're just not quite sure where to start. And so my art sort of says, hey, come on in, take a seat, and just be present for a little bit and notice what comes up for you.
So I guess the question is, if I were to come in and have a session with you where I want you to do that artwork for me, it could that be artwork that I feel around me? Like if especially if it's maybe where I want to be like in my life. Like you always want to surround yourself with positive quotes, positive people, like always on the positive. Yes, there's negatives, but you want to surround yourself with positive where you want to get the next phase of your path in life. Could this
Mhm.
artwork kind of be that place, like in my office, say?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll do like the pieces behind me are sort of like my story, my interpretation of something. But when I do a spirit portrait for somebody or a commission for somebody, that's your story. So it's me tuning into your energy and saying, hey, Mariah, here's what I see for you. Here's what your aura or your energetic signature looks like. And here's what you could benefit more from. So I might look at you and say, you might benefit from blues and oranges because they support your sense of creativity, emotional expression, relationships, and also your voice, being able to communicate clearly, speak your truth authentically and with integrity. And so those two colors might come together in a painting with some other colors too, along with messages that give you a place to anchor into when you feel like you don't quite understand what the path forward is. You can kind of use that painting as a mirror of your spirit that offers you a moment of pause or just a reflection to say, oh, sometimes I just need a reminder that I'm radiant. Sometimes I just need a reminder that I'm a beautiful spirit and that life, the human life, can be really hard, but also we're here to have a spiritual experience. And the lessons that we learn here are what actually help us grow.
So you mentioned the word radiant. So you know that I launched that podcast, Radiate in Wealth. Now, I don't know if radiant and radiate
Hmm.
mean the same thing, but I think they're in the same family of what it means. So did you catch that when I mentioned it?
No, my podcast is called Your Radiant Spirit.
Yeah. So that's funny. So I am trying to spin off. So I have a couple of channels. So one is Radiate and Spiritual Wealth. So this could be an alignment that we could have. You froze. Oh no. It's a good pause though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
are. I lost you for a second.
Okay, good. Can we cut
Okay.
that?
So I'll probably share this episode on that channel because that's definitely something I'm growing. There's a lot of women I know that when you hear somebody that does like they're a spiritual coach or a life coach, they could go into this, but you're very unique with this artwork piece. So I do love that. Okay. We may need to have a chat where I can add something in my office because I think I need that in my life. Okay, so a couple questions for you. All right, so you often talk about noticing the sacred in ordinary life, and I took this from your website,
Hmm.
okay? Can you share a moment when something completely ordinary became extraordinary simply because you paid closer attention? That's the question.
Yeah.
Do you want me to repeat it?
No, I think I got it.
Okay.
I think I got it.
So
So,
you got it? Okay.
yeah. Um, okay, so one of the things about me is I'm sort of your spiritual bestie. Like when I worked in corporate, people would come into my office and say, I had a dream. Can you help me interpret it? Or, oh my God, I saw
Ooh.
this thing today. What is this about? And so for
Yeah.
me, in my day to day, I notice patterns, things that repeat or things that show up that are sort of like messages to us from God, spirit. For example, one day I was in the grocery store and I was picking up a snack for a class that I had, and this little yellow bird flew into the grocery store, and it was
Stop it.
back by the meat. It was like back by the cold stuff. So it was in the store. And I
Yeah.
was like, what an interesting bird. And I was like, this is so fascinating to me. And I snapped a picture of it because I wanted to look up what does the bird mean? What is
Yeah.
that symbolism of the bird? And it was at a time where I was immersed in Bible study, studying
Mhm.
the crucifixion story. And that bird actually represented an aspect of the crucifixion. And so it was a
No
really
way.
unique, I think, affirmation of the work that I was studying and the bird showing up to say, like, you're on the right path, keep pursuing your
Wow.
knowledge in this. So that's sort of the sacred in the ordinary. Like you might go, oh my God, there's a pigeon in front of my house. It's been here for 3 days. And you might just go, stupid pigeon, and move on, right? But like for me, I'm like, oh my God, that pigeon means something.
Oh,
That pigeon
that's
is
so
here for a
funny.
reason.
That's funny. But also, this is a very pretty sounding yellow bird. It's not a pigeon. Just to
It
be
was a very
like,
unique, like brightly, it was so interesting. And
that's
yeah, so I pay
wild.
attention to that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now the other question is, after spending nearly 20 years in human resources and leadership development, what did you learn about people that now shows up in your artwork? That's a good one.
Oh my gosh. That's a great question.
I know.
We are all the same. We are
Isn't
all
that
the
funny?
same. I think
Yeah.
we are more alike. Yeah, we are more alike than people think and convey. And I think we're all here just trying to figure it out and just trying to understand our purpose, the meaning that we have here, how to, most of
Mm,
us, I think, have really positive intentions for one another and for our community. And I think that we all share the same struggles, fears, worries, concerns, joys, and pains. And I think when you can pause and remember and give grace to somebody who's holding up the line at the bank or somebody who doesn't immediately hit the gas at the red light, when you can have compassion for somebody in that way and just say, I don't know, maybe they're distracted by something, or I don't know, maybe they're having a bad day. Um, we're all the same. And I think that's so important to remember.
it's funny you say that. So I am of the mindset that glass is always half full. I always think the positive of people, and my husband is the polar opposite, just a side note. And we have this running joke that if we enter like a roundabout or a rotary, whatever you call it, where part of the country you're on or part of the world, I call it a rotary. And if someone is driving in front of us and they're driving very slowly, my husband loses his mind. And so the running joke is, I'll say, honey, maybe they have like a punch bowl covered in saran wrap on the floor of the front passenger side and they need to make sure it doesn't spill. And he looks at me and he's like, maybe they are just an expletive. And I'm like, that is a possibility, but I choose not to think like that. So he's like, you always think that there's somebody who's just driving poorly because they're concerned about something else within their vehicle. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Because I'm like, they can't
Mhm.
conceivably just want to be a jerk. But yeah, that's the yeah. So
I'm
I
the
mean,
same way because
you are.
yeah, if somebody cuts me off or something, I'm like, maybe they have to go to the bathroom really bad. I don't know, you know?
It's like this is definitely not ill intention. Okay, all right. So speaking of that, so people go through life and they've got like big questions. They're wondering like, what's my purpose in life? Like, am I on the right path that's chosen for me in life, or am I choosing the right path? How has, I guess, with you painting as a practice of noticing these things, how has that way of seeing changed who you are as a person outside of the studio?
Oh man, you have got some amazing questions. Um, I think one of the things, so I have always believed that what I paint for you is both a message for you and a message for me. The words that I say out loud to you are the words that I also need to hear. And so when
Mm,
I create a portrait for somebody and that portrait says, you have got to start speaking your truth. You have got to start telling people what you really need. I know that is also a message for me. And so, as much as the portrait is for you and your healing and your path and your clarity, I think it is equally as important for me to receive the messages as well. And so, in that way, I think it has made me see people more as I think seeing people as sacred spirits who are I tend to think of us as we're human, so we're having a human experience, but I think the spiritual always comes first. And so I always try to think of somebody as like we're just here trying to figure it out. We're here to have lessons. We're here to learn. We
yeah.
don't always do things the right way, but we are always, if we are receptive to the lesson, then we are growing nonetheless. And so I try to have grace for myself to say, you may not, for instance, the last couple of years, I feel like I've sort of veered off my artist path a little bit. And I have had moments where I regret that. And I think, oh, I've wasted so much time. But then I
Yeah.
also think, but you know what? You learned so much about yourself in the process. And so that time wasn't wasted, but you also now learned what not to do. And so that's valuable. And so have a little grace for yourself that you walked away with that in and of itself. So just trying
That
to be more gentle with myself too.
mm, that makes sense because like when I counsel with friends, just just being a good friend, I'll hear myself say things. I'm like, I should probably listen to that myself. You ever notice that?
100%. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
should take my
absolutely.
own words of wisdom, and I just don't. Okay. So now another question. This is actually this is on the personal aspect of what these portraits portray. So it's a spiritual portrait. Would you call it that? Okay.
Yeah.
So the spiritual portraits, they are incredibly personal. So what is it like sitting with someone's story before you ever put a brush to canvas?
Oh, thank you for asking that. It is a sacred practice
Is it?
of it is a non-judgmental observation of somebody's spirit. And I say that because I think they're very intimate sometimes, and there are things that come up for someone where I would never want them to feel embarrassed or ashamed of what I might see in their
Mm.
energy. And so I have got my coaching certification a few years before I left corporate. And I'm so thankful for that experience because it taught me how to listen and hold space in a professional way. And I think that has helped me with these portraits because there are times where I'll lift up a painting and show you something, and your reaction to it might just be to start crying. And so I never want to rush you through that emotional reaction to something. I want to
Yeah.
hold space for you because it might be the first time you've ever given yourself permission to feel beautiful. And I'm getting
Hmm.
chills as I'm saying that. So I feel
Oh.
like that's like it's a really sacred, personal and intimate space. And I'm very honored that I get to peek into your spirit and to show you something about yourself that you may not have seen before.
Now, is it easier for you to do these portraits in their own space, or does it not really matter?
It
Or do
doesn't
you do it
really
in your
matter.
studio? No?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll usually ask for a picture of somebody, even if we've met before. I'll say, just give me a picture, and then I'll just
Oh,
sit with your picture and meditate with it. Um,
oh.
there's one on my desk behind me. Some people's portraits come very quick and um, very easily, and other people's
Mhm.
portraits will take some time. So the one that's behind me, I've been
Hmm.
working on for a few weeks, and I'll just go over to it
Really?
and go, well, what is it saying? And then I'll add a little bit more, and then what is this saying? And I'll add a little bit more. Sometimes they come together very quickly, though. It really depends on the person's energy and what they were, I think, what they're sort of willing to. open up to see.
Okay. So if someone were to commission you for the artwork, can you give them a time frame when it could be done? Or is it more
Usually,
like it depends?
yeah, that's a great question. Usually within about 2 to 3 weeks, would say.
Okay. Okay. And then does it can the person like dictate or request a size? Or like, is that how
Yeah,
it works? Okay, so they can say, I would like
yeah.
a small frame that I can put like my little closet door here, like my little guys here, or my
Hmm.
wall. I want my wall to be covered in something. Then you could do that. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. Okay, all right. So I guess my next big question is if someone was listening today and they feel like life has become rushed, noisy, disconnected, what's one simple practice you would encourage them to begin noticing beauty or grace again?
Oh, what a beautiful question.
Yeah.
I would say just take a walk outside and maybe go on a color hunt. I love a color hunt. I don't know if you've ever done this, but
Never heard of this
um,
before. What is this?
okay, this is fun. So maybe
Okay.
your favorite color right now is blue,
Yes.
and you are like, I just need a little break. Everything feels hard. Just go on a walk outside or go to the mall or whatever. People go to the mall anymore, and just notice anything that you see that's blue and take pictures of it and fill your phone grid with your picture grid with blue items. And
Oh,
just to give you like, it's just the act of noticing. It's very
okay.
fun. It's very easy, but it pulls you out of your brain and into just a creative space where then you're starting to look for blue and you're starting to notice, oh, I'm drawn over here because there's something there. Maybe it's not even blue, but I'm drawn to it. Why am I drawn to it? What's the feeling it
Mhm.
gives me? It just kind of puts you back into your body to help you feel a little bit more peaceful.
I have to tell you, as like a budding new entrepreneur, uh, I feel more and more less outside my body. And what's very strange, I've been noticing over the last 3 years, is something is pulling me to go back into it. Like, because you rush, rush, rush all the time. Like, and maybe because I'm menopausal now, it's like I'm having the hot flashes. I got to go back to my body. I'm fighting plantar fasciitis on my foot. Now I have to take care of the body. Now I got to remember to. So it's weird, like life, as much as I want to keep driving forward at full force, like 100 miles an hour, my body's saying, no, 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 don't forget about me. And you have
Yeah.
to not always think the physical, but also the emotional, the spiritual, and all that stuff, which is kind of, it's frustrating, but it's eye-opening.
Yeah, it very much is. It very much, I can relate to all of that. Like last summer, I went through a thing where it was like one thing after another. I had to be in a boot for 6 weeks because I had tendonitis in my foot,
Mm.
and then I have arthritis in my hip, and I'm like, what
Oh, yeah.
is going on? And same thing. I'm like, I am not focusing on my own health and well-being, and I need to prioritize. I need to respect myself enough to prioritize my health so that
Hmm.
I can continue to work. Because it does feel like at a certain point you lose sovereignty over your body and you're like, what happened? Where did this
Exactly.
go?
And I hate to say it, but I'm seeing a lot of things in the news where certain actors we know and love are coming out with Alzheimer's diagnosis, and oh my goodness, that's just scary.
Yeah, it is. It
You've
is.
forgotten so
It
much. All right.
is.
So here
Hmm.
is a fun, this could be a wow question for you. All right. If your 8-year-old self, the little girl searching library shelves for answers about God and the universe, could walk into your studio today, what do you think she'd say?
Ah, that just gave me chills. Um,
8 years old is such a good age too, by the way.
it's such a good age. Okay, so two things. One, I think around that age was when I started to listen to the adults around me say, Um, art is a dangerous pursuit. You're not going to make any money doing that. Maybe you should think of something else. So I think, I honestly think 8-year-old me would be like, oh my gosh, we found a way back. We figured it out. We got here anyway. Because I think I took a very like winding path to get here.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful for the time that I spent in corporate and all the certifications and everything because it had really taught me the administrative side of running a business.
Mm.
Whereas if I hadn't had that experience, I would probably just be like some head in the clouds, crazy bird artist who couldn't get anything done. But I figured out how to do a newsletter, how to do my marketing, how to do all that. So I'm really glad. So I think she would be surprised and thankful that despite what she was told, she ended up going her own way anyway.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. All right. So we meet weekly for the Women in Networking on 9 a.m. on Tuesdays.
Hmm.
You have a podcast you just mentioned. So I'm going to add the link to your podcast in this video here. And it's what is it again? Radiant,
Your radiant spirit.
your radiant spirit. And now do you have like a school or a community you do? Because you have those nightly calls, I think, once a week, right?
Yep. Yep, it's called the Color Healing Academy, and
Mm-hmm.
it is a chance for us to get together and talk about noticing, essentially, like where color shows up in our world, and other things. I think that might be changing. I feel like I'm sort of finding a through line in my work that feels a little different than just focusing on color, maybe more so focusing on observation, noticing, and finding those stories in our lives that are about the sacred and the ordinary. But there's a group on Facebook where you can pop in. I think it's called the Color. I think it's called the Color Healing Community on Facebook, and you can get information there too.
Okay. So definitely share with me what you'd like for me to have attached to this video.
Okay.
I think this is awesome. The other question I have is, do you have any events that you're going to be doing in the rest of 2026 that you're going to be like at an event, or are you hosting anything? Is it mainly just virtual at the time and it's by appointment?
Yeah, mostly virtual and by appointment right now. I have a couple of pieces that are in art shows, one in
Oh,
Greensboro in August. There's a current exhibition in Raleigh where I have two pieces. But I'll update everything on my events page on
okay.
my website too.
All right, so we'll provide the website, focus on the events page, and you do a nice email reminder. Now, by the way, your email lands in my Google account. There's my inbox, and then there's promotionals, and that's where I'm
Oh,
finding your
yep.
emails landing. So if you're going to I'm going to say this to the audience. So if anybody's going to be added to your email list, just to make sure to be mindful of the promotional category if it should do that. But I encourage people to come to one of your nightly sessions. So I need to come back again and jump on that because I do find this an aspect of my life journey that I haven't really tapped into, but I am finding that I need to. So
I love that. See, that's the thing. Like just that little curiosity about it, I think is what makes somebody go, wait a minute, there's something more here.
yeah,
I
I
love
love
that.
it. All right. Well, thank you, Heather, for your time. And I think this is going to be something that's very impactful for our towns, our couple adjoining towns that do cross a
Yeah,
little bit here and there. But this channel will reach further than that. And then I'm sure yours does too. So we'll
for
definitely be
sure.
looking to reconnect maybe in a few more months and see where we're at. Maybe I'll do a portrait with you. Oh.
I would love it.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.